present over here. Wish you a very happy Teachers' Day. It gives me immense pleasure in introducing chief guest of the day, Professor Siddhanoy Vislaya. Professor Vislaya has completed his master's degree in economics from University of Mysore and PhD from University of Minnesota. He has secured first class rank throughout his career. He has rendered 45 years of human service in teaching, research and academic administration. He has published more than 170 reported articles in prominent journals. His major experiences are: he has worked as assistant professor, associate professor and professor of economics, University of Agricultural Sciences, Bangalore, Registrar and Vice Chancellor, University of Agricultural Sciences, Bangalore, Visiting Professor, Planning Commission, University of Mysore, Member, Academic and Administrative Audit Committee, Bangalore University, Chairman, Academic Senate, Bharatiya Vidya Bhavan, Chairman, Karnataka State Agriculture Prize Commission, Chairman, BMS College of Engineering and BMS College for Women, Member, Karnataka State Council of Higher Education, Member, Karnataka State Science and Technology Academy. His international working experiences are monitoring and evaluation expert, World Bank Forestry Project, Nigeria. He worked as twice as a consultant to Food and Agriculture Organization of UNO, Rome, twice as a consultant to Economic and Social Commission for Asia and Pacific, UNO. He worked once as a consultant to World Bank, FAO, Rome, once as a consultant to Asian Development Bank, Manila. Sir, we are very much enlightened to have your kind self among us, sir. We are indebted to you, sir, indeed. And once again, I wholeheartedly welcome Professor Vislaya to this occasion.
May I now request our HOD Commerce Department and the Vice Principal, Mr. Jairam sir, to felicitate our chief guest. I would also request the HOD Languages Department, Madam Rohini, to present a token of appreciation to our department. May I now call upon our chief guest to speak a few words and address the gathering.
Professor Dharasna, teacher friends and invitees. I was reared academically in University of Mysore. I did my honors at Maharajas College, a college where Dr. Radhakrishnan was a professor of philosophy. That was before I was born. But even then, when we went to Maharajas College, there used to be a celebration called Freshman's Day. The newly admitted students used to be given welcome and reception, whatever you call it. At that time, the principal used to introduce the great heritage of Maharajas College, which was a premier institution in the country at that time. Now, I don't want to say. So, two things, one thing which he told us, among other things, I would like to share with you. He did show me a room and the corridor.
where that Radhakrishnan used to pass through. A room where he expounded his great philosophy. It was quite an excitement for we fresh students. Hey, we are fortunate to study in a college where the great professor did work for some time. But more than that, we were told by Professor C.D. Narasimha, who was the principal at that time. ಅದನ್ನು ಕನ್ನಡದಲ್ಲಿ ಹೇಳಲು ಮಾತು ಹೇಳಿದ್ದೇನೆ. ಅವ್ರ ಮನೆಯಿಂದ ಸರಸ್ವತಿಪುರಮಲ್ಲಿ ಅವರು ಬೀಳ್ಕೊಡುಗೆ ಕೊಡುವಾಗ ರೈಲ್ವೆ ಸ್ಟೇಷನ್ ಕರ್ಕೊಳ್ಬೇಕಾಗಿತ್ತು ಅವರು. ಆಗ ಟಾಂಗ ಅಥವಾ ಯಾವ್ದಾದ್ರು ಬೋಟ್ ವೆಹಿಕಲ್ ಅದಕ್ಕೆ ಅವಕಾಶ ಇತ್ತು. ಬಟ್ ಸ್ಟೂಡೆಂಟ್ಸ್ ಡಿಡ್ ನಾಟ್ ಅಲೋ ಹಿಮ್ ಟು ಗೋ ಐದರ್ ಬೈ ಕಾರ್ ಆರ್ ಬೈ ಟಾಂಗ. ಟಾಂಗ ಗಾಡಿ ತಗೊಂಡ್ರು. ಟಾಂಗ ಗಾಡಿನ ತಾವೇನೆ ರೈಲ್ವೆ ಸ್ಟೇಷನ್ ಅವ್ರಿಗೆ ಉದುರೆ ರೀತಿ ಟಾಂಗ ಗಾಡಿನ ಕರ್ಕೊಂಡು ಒಬ್ಬ ಟೀಚರ್ನ ರೈಲ್ವೆ ಸ್ಟೇಷನ್ ಬಿಟ್ಟು ಬರಬೇಕಾದ ಪಕ್ಷದಲ್ಲಿ what a great high esteem he enjoyed among the students and the people of Mysore. Can you think of it today? I don't know. Dr. Nagaraj had already told us, and it was he who told the students and the faculty, instead of celebrating my birthday as September 5th, why don't you call it Teachers' Day? I think it must be a great feeling for all of us, and we must be proud of it. Then there were other reasons for which I would say I have become a devotee of that Dr. Radhakrishnan. Two of his major works have fascinated me among many other works. That Hindu philosophy, that many volumes, I don't want to get into that. There is a compendium of articles based on the lectures which he delivered across the country and abroad. The title of that book is Foundation of Human Civilization. Very simple question raised by him. What do you think of the foundation of human civilization? Very simple answer. Ideals and ideals. Ideas and ideals. Could there be anything other than the ideas and ideals which would provide a strong foundation for human civilization? Ideas and ideals would encompass everything which we talk about. Then the next question which he raises in one of his lectures, which you must read. Where do we expect them to emanate from? Ideas and ideals. The answer is straightforward. Where else? Colleges and universities. The colleges and universities are expected to be fountainheads of ideas and ideals. Let me tell you the way which he has described the teachers. I quote a sentence from one of his books. The intellectual pioneers of our civilization are to be found and trained in colleges and universities. You are the intellectual pioneers. Your students are expected to be intellectual pioneers. You provide the basic foundation of human civilization. What a noble goal he has set for all of us. What an importance he has given to teachers. To call us as intellectual pioneers who work in universities and colleges as teachers. But it's difficult to understand if I ask a very uncomfortable question. Are we close to the norms which he did set for us? How close we are to norms? how we are far away from the norms set by Dr. Radhakrishnan. I think this is the time for us to introspect on this day, on Teachers' Day. At least on this day, you must introspect, what is my role as a teacher? In fact, I had done all kinds of jobs as a professional, you name it. I have been in a way nomadic, professionally. Of all the jobs which I had the opportunity to perform or do, the one that has fascinated me has not merely been teaching, but even today it is teaching and nothing else. I cannot tell this to my wife anyway. Teaching is still my first love. It is only because I was fascinated by some of the works of Dr. S. Radhakrishnan and some of the great teachers whom we had. I could have got into any administrative job at that time, but I decided not to. I must be a teacher. Call me a teacher, I am quite happy. You don't have to call me a former vice chancellor. Once a teacher is always a teacher. But once a vice chancellor becomes former vice chancellor. It's a great feeling to be a teacher forever until you last. What else we need in life? To be recognized as teachers. Professor ಅಂದ್ರೆ ಸಂತೋಷ ಪಡಲು ಮೇಷ್ಟ್ರೇ ಅಂದ್ರೆ ಸಂತೋಷ ಜಾಸ್ತಿ. ಮೇಷ್ಟ್ರೇ ಅನ್ನೋದ್ರಲ್ಲಿ ಇರ್ತಕ್ಕಂಥ ಒಂದು ಸ್ವಾದ ಇದೆಯಲ್ಲ, ಸಂತೋಷ. ಸುಮ್ಮನೆ ಪ್ರೊಫೆಸರ್ ಡಾಕ್ಟರ್ ಅಂದ್ರೆ ಯಾಕೆ ಅಷ್ಟು ನನಗೆ ರುಚಿ ಆಗ್ತಾ ಇಲ್ಲ, ಬೇರೆಯವರು ರುಚಿ ಆಗ್ತದೆ. But we thought that the most difficult job is that of a teacher. Because quite a lot is expected from him. The teacher has a role in educational institutions. He has a role in a society. Many roles are expected to be rolled into the personality of a teacher. Let me share with you the role of a teacher in education institutions, for example. I am on the advisory board of MS Ram Institute of Management. We were talking about the methodology for evaluating the performance of teachers. I didn't know until that meeting was held. As teacher, we perform more than 100 functions. It's a very big list. But I tell you only some of them. As teachers, we are expected to be organizers of curriculum, mediator of learning. We are dream merchants. I mean academic dreams. We are dream merchants. That's what we are expected to be. We are the controller of students' behavior. We are expected to be a parent substitute. We are the judges of students' achievements. In doing all this, we have to deal with heterogeneous groups of students. When I go to the classroom for the first time, the first thing which I do is, hey, how heterogeneous the class is. You see faces. Always in China, almost 4 years ago, if you see the students there, all of them look alike. But here we are heterogeneous. There are reasons I don't want to get into that. We are different. Each face is different. The way in which each smiles is different. So we form heterogeneous group, and you find the students in the class. The group is heterogeneous. Because they are heterogeneous, you have to deal with students with abilities and disabilities, students who are fast learners, students who are slow learners, and students who are orderly, but students who are disorderly. The students who have the speech and language disabilities. But all of them all in the same classroom. Perhaps they come to the classroom carrying their socio-economic background. All these qualities. Expected perhaps you and I will be able to help them. I would like to read just a couple of sentences to illustrate the point how heterogeneous the students are. What do we do for them? If some students have not yet learned to study, if their environment has crushed their curiosity, if they are intellectually underdeveloped and culturally backward, they need what kind of teachers? They need teachers who have the empathy, not sympathy, please. When I say empathy, place yourself in their position. What would you have expected from me as a teacher? What do you expect from me? The empathy and not sympathy, please. So, there need methods of teaching which can engage them, not the same one. Some of us are in the habit of meeting the mental challenges of only bright students. Some of us may end up saying, I can teach only bright students. I wouldn't hesitate to call that person as a bad teacher because he can teach only bright students. It doesn't require extraordinary ability to teach bright students. It's like the bright students will teach me. But it's the less bright, less gifted, the laggards who need our attention. That's why it needs sympathy on the part of the teacher. Excuse me, that is the first quality which we teachers are expected to develop in us. Apart from, I know the subject very well, but we need to know much more than that. Subject is something which you learn from a textbook. But we need to train other than the subject matter as teachers. The first challenge which we have, can I convert these heterogeneous groups of students into a learning community? Can I convert this classroom into a learning space? Am I willing to accept my students as co-teachers? Am I willing to be a co-learner? Am I willing to tolerate the psychology victory of my students because they can answer the question much better than what I can do? This is what is expected of me as a teacher. Not really just I know what it is. I can expand O plus B, A plus B whole square. Hey, come on, everybody can do that. But everybody cannot deal with heterogeneous groups of students. They don't have the empathy. And they tell you they can teach only bright boys and girls. They tell others should not get into the colleges and universities at all. They should say outside. Think of that kind of philosophy. Where will they end up? What do you want to do with them? They are here carrying their, I told you, socio-cultural background. And we are expected to be empathetic and to be of some help to them. Actually, I have heard this one quite often. Teaching is not a trade, a calling, a mission. I would like to illustrate this point by sharing with you the story of 3 men carrying bricks. All the 3 men are carrying bricks at a construction site. You ask the same question to them. What is the question? What are you doing here? Don't you see that? I am carrying bricks. Second person, what are you doing here? Hey, I carry bricks to earn 600 rupees a day. The third one, what are you doing here? Why are you here? I am helping to build library building for the college. Am I clear? Yes, it's a trade, you get your salary. But there is something else other than while getting our salary, we are expected to help in building the career of students. In building their career, do you remember we also build our career? don't build up our bank balance, I know that. But our career as teachers. And I go to the class many times, I want to make sure nobody sleeps in the class. To my surprise, I did find out after a couple of decades, some of them are capable of sleeping without closing their eyes. Then what do you do? You're perfect at the art and science of sleeping without closing their eyes. That kind of student we are expected to find out. They know how smart they are. I shouldn't say that. In copying the examination hall, do we have the students here? That we learn how to detect, how to find out. And as teachers, at least I use the red pen to point out the wrong answer. If this answer script is full of red marks, you can be damn sure he gets less marks. Yes, we do all that. We do all that. That's a part of the trade. But there's also a mission. There's also a calling. You build your career. They will also build your career. Not by getting promotion change. They will change your very personality. ನಮ್ಮ ವ್ಯಕ್ತಿತ್ವನೇ ಬದಲಾವಣೆ ತಂದ್ರಲಿ. ನಾವು ಮೇಷ್ಟ್ರುಗಳಾಗಿ ನಮ್ಮ ವ್ಯಕ್ತಿತ್ವನ ನಾವು ಅವ್ರ ವ್ಯಕ್ತಿತ್ವ ಬದಲಾವಣೆ ಮಾಡ್ತೀವಿ ಅಂತ ನಾವು ತಿಳ್ಕೊಂಡಿರ್ಬೋದು. ಸ್ಟೂಡೆಂಟ್ಸ್ ಕೂಡ ನಮ್ಮ ವ್ಯಕ್ತಿತ್ವನ ಅವರು ಬದಲಾಯಿಸ್ತಾರಲ್ಲ. So it is in that sense building a career of students. I'm preparing them for life. It's a great challenge. If you really want to do good job, may I request my fellow teachers to read a book by Gardner. The title of the book is Frame of Mind. Frame of Mind. It's a recent book. All of us as teachers, we should read that book, Frame of Mind. It is in that book, Gardner talks about what I would like to call theory of multiple intelligence. IQ is one measure of intelligence, right? I think we read sometime last year or this year, I forgotten. Some girl who had said whose IQ was higher than that of Einstein. Does it mean she will excel Einstein? That's one kind of intelligence, that's all. You know Srinivasa Ramanujan, great mathematician. You know Tansen was a great singer in Akbar's court. Who is more intelligent? Ramanujan or Tansen? So, no, you cannot say that. That's a different type of intelligence. The intelligence of Tansen is not comparable to that of Srinivasa Ramanujan. Srinivasa Ramanujan may get a high score in IQ. Tansen may not get it because the questions are not music. The questions are on mathematics. And one more example which I would like to give you. Sir M. Visvesvaraya, Lata Mangeshkar. Who is more intelligent? Can you go for your so-called IQ? Yes? Please don't do that. Because each individual is endowed with a different set of intelligence which you must remember. Unless you understand the concept of multiple intelligence, I am afraid whether I can become a good teacher. Not at all. On one side, marks karna daddam karaput label puttu naವೆಲ್ಲ. That's where the problem is. ನೀವು ಎಷ್ಟು ಜನ ದೇವರು ಮಹಾದೇವರ ಇತ್ತೀಚಿನ ಒಂದು ಕಾಲದಲ್ಲಿ ಪುಸ್ತಕ ಓದಿದ್ರೆ ಗೊತ್ತಿಲ್ಲ. ಯಾರಾದ್ರೂ ಓದಿದ್ದೀರಾ? ಟೈಮಿಲ್ಲ. ಎದೆಗೆ ಬಿದ್ದ ಅಕ್ಷರ. ಟೈಟಲ್ ಎಷ್ಟು ಚೆನ್ನಾಗಿದೆಯಲ್ಲ? ಎದೆಗೆ ಬಿದ್ದ ಅಕ್ಷರ, ಭೂಮಿಗೆ ಬಿದ್ದ ಬೀಜ. ಎದೆಗೆ ಅಕ್ಷರ ಬಿದ್ದು ಪಕ್ಷದಲ್ಲಿ ಅದು ಫಲ ಕೊಡ್ಲಿಕ್ಕೆ ಸಾಕಷ್ಟು ವೇಳೆ ಬೇಕು. There is a gestation period. ಆ ಎದೆಗೆ ಬಿದ್ದ ಅಕ್ಷರ ಆ ಹುಡುಗನಿಗೆ ಅಥವಾ ಹುಡುಗಿಗೆ ಒಂದು ರೀತಿಯಲ್ಲಿ ಜೀವನದಲ್ಲಿ ಫಲ ಕೊಡಬೇಕಾಗಿದ್ರೆ ಇಟ್ ಟೇಕ್ಸ್ ಟೈಮ್. ಅವರ ಎದೆಗೆ ಅಕ್ಷರ ಬಿತ್ತತಕ್ಕಂಥ ಕೆಲಸ ಮೇಷ್ಟ್ರುಗಳು ನಮ್ದು ಅಲ್ಲ. That itself is a great feeling for any teacher. ಹೌದು, ಈ ಮಕ್ಕಳ ಎದೆಗೆ ಅಕ್ಷರ ಬಿತ್ತತಕ್ಕಂಥ ಕೆಲಸ ನನ್ನ ಪಾಲಿಗೆ ಕೊಟ್ಟಿದ್ದಾನೆ ದೇವರು. Either willingly have become a teacher. I have a great responsibility. That's my role. ಇನ್ನೊಂದನ್ನ ಪರ್ಸನಲ್ ಎಕ್ಸ್ಪೀರಿಯನ್ಸ್ ನಮಗೆ ಹೇಳ್ಬೇಕಾಗುತ್ತೆ, ದಯವಿಟ್ಟು ಕ್ಷಮಿಸಿ. It was in sometime 1997. I was a professor at that time. I received a phone call from the director of the university. I went to meet him. Sir, you want to see me? Yes. What is it, sir? This way, congratulations, you have been nominated by the former students, not those who are on their own in the university, as the best teacher in the university. We would like to honor you. Don't you think it was a great feeling for me? Then he wanted my biodata. I gave my biodata. 2 days after, before the convocation, he sent for me again. You know what he told me? ಬಿಸ್ಲೆ ನಿಮಗಾಗಿ ಇನ್ಯಾರನ್ನೂ ಕೊಡಬೇಕು ಅಂತಿದ್ದೀವಿ. ಯಾವ ಕಾರಣಕ್ಕೆ ಅಂತ ಕೇಳಲಿಲ್ಲ. ಇದು ಜಾತಿ ಕಾರಣನ, ಯಾವುದು ಕಾರಣನ ಕೇಳಕ್ ಹೋಗ್ಲಿಲ್ಲ. ಬಟ್ ನನಗೆ ಯಾರು 5 ವರ್ಷ ಹಿಂದೆ ನಾನು ಒಂದು ಕಾಲದಲ್ಲಿ ಟೀಚ್ ಮಾಡಿದ್ದವರು ಅವರೆಲ್ಲ. itself is a great feeling. Come on, ಇವ್ರು ಕೊಡದಿದ್ರೆ ಏನಂತೆ, ಅವರು ನನಗೆ ರೆಕಗ್ನೈಸ್ ಮಾಡ್ಕೊಂಡಿದ್ದಾರಲ್ಲ, ಅದು ಮೇಟ್ರಿಗೆ ಇರ್ಬೇಕಂತ ನೀವು ನಾನು ಶೇರ್ ಮಾಡ್ತಾ ಇದ್ದೀನಿ. ನನಗೆ ಆಗ ಶಿವರುದ್ರಪ್ಪನವ್ರದ್ದು ಒಂದು ಪದ್ಯ ಇದೆ, ನಿಮ್ಗೆ ಗೊತ್ತಿರಬೇಕು. ಜ್ಞಾಪಕ ಇದೆಯಾ? ಎದೆ ತುಂಬಿ ಹೊಡಿದೇನು, ಎಷ್ಟು ಚೆನ್ನಾಗಿದೆ ಅಲ್ಲ. ಅದರಲ್ಲಿ ಒಂದು ಸಾಲಿದೆ, ಹಾಡು ಹಕ್ಕಿಗೆ ಬೇಕೇ ಬಿರುದು ಸನ್ಮಾನ. ನಿಮ್ ಬಿರುದು ಬೇಡ, ನಿಮ್ ಸನ್ಮಾನನೂ ಬೇಡ, ನಾನು ಹಾಡು ಹಕ್ಕಿ, ಹಾಡೋದೇ ನನ್ನ ಕರ್ಮ, ನೀವು ಏನೂ ಯೋಚನೆ ಮಾಡಬೇಡಿ. ಐ ಥಿಂಕ್ ಐ ಆಮ್ ಕ್ಲಿಯರ್. ಅಂತ ಒಂದು ತೃಪ್ತಿ, ನಾನು ಎದೆಗೆ ಅಕ್ಷರವನ್ನು ಬಿತ್ತಿದ್ದೀನಿ, ಅಷ್ಟೇ ಸಂತೋಷ ಅಲ್ಲ. ಬಿತ್ತಿದ್ದೀನಿ ಅಂತಕ್ಕಂಥ ನನ್ನ ಸ್ಟೂಡೆಂಟ್ಸು ರೆಕಗ್ನೈಸ್ ಮಾಡ್ಕೊಂಡಿದ್ದಾರೆ. I don't need certificate from anybody. I think that's a source of joy to any teacher for that matter. Source of joy. ನೀವು ಬಿರುದು ಸನ್ಮಾನ ಕೊಡ್ತೀರಿ ಅಂತ ನಾನೇ ನನ್ನ ಕೆಲಸ ಮಾಡಲಿಲ್ಲ. ಅದು ನನ್ನ ಕರ್ಮ. ಕೇಳಿರ್ಬೇಕಲ್ಲ, ಸಾಂಗ್ಸ್ ಗೊತ್ತಿದೆ ನಿಮಗೆ, ಅದು ನನ್ನ ಕರ್ಮ. ನೀವೇನಾದ್ರೂ ಅನ್ನಿ, ಆಡ್ತಿರ್ತೀನಿ. I think it's a great feeling. I wish I could sing it very well. Dr. Nagaratna, I'm sorry, I'm not able to sing it. Then, as a teacher, I have the responsibility to graft in some qualities into the personality of my students. 4 qualities. And these 4 would be pillars of his career. Number 1, learning to know, learning to do, learning to live together, learning to be. Learning to be is more important to me, because you help him to discover what he is and what he is not. It is better if each one of us we recognize what we are and what we are not. But always we glorify what we are. We do not want to remember what we are not. I think as teachers, we have got to combine our intention to understand what we are, what we are not. My role as a teacher, not being in the classroom, please. I have a great role in the society. I am expected to be a surrogate of morality. I am expected to be a torch bearer of the society. That's why my profession is a noble, is called as a noble profession, as if all other professions are ignoble. Because I am a surrogate of morality in the entire society. I have a problem in the classroom, I have a problem outside the classroom. That's why they are willing to accept I am a, mine is a noble profession. ನಿಮಗೆ ಒಂದನೇ ಸ್ವಲ್ಪ ಹ್ಯೂಮರಸ್ ಆಗಿದೆ, ನನಗಷ್ಟು ಚೆನ್ನಾಗಿ ಪದ್ಯ ಹೇಳಿ ಬರಲ್ಲ, ಬಟ್ ಆದ್ರೂ ಹೇಳಬೇಕು ಅನಿಸ್ತದೆ. ನಿಮಗೆ ಕೆಲವರಿಗಾದ ಅಲಮ ಪ್ರಭು ಗೊತ್ತಿರಬೇಕು. ಅಲಮ ಪ್ರಭು ಗುಹೇಶ್ವರನಿಗೆ ಅಂದ್ರೆ ಅವರು ದೇವರಿಗೆ ಮೇಷ್ಟ್ರುಗಳು ಅವರ ರೋಲು ಕಾಲಕ್ಕೆ ಯಾವ ರೀತಿ ಬದಲಾವಣೆ ಆಗಿದೆ. ದಟ್ ಮೀನ್ ದಿ ರಿಲೇಶನ್ ಬಿಟ್ವೀನ್ ದಿ ಸ್ಟೂಡೆಂಟ್ಸ್ ಅಂಡ್ ದಿ ಟೀಚರ್ಸ್. Students and the teachers, how it has changed from time to time compared to what we were. What kind of relationship we had with our teachers? I think it's different today. Fundamentally different. ಅದಕ್ಕೆ ಕೆಲವು ಭಾಗನ ತಮಗೆ ಹೇಳಿಕ್ಕೆ ಇಷ್ಟಪಡ್ತೀನಿ. ಕೃತಯುಗದಲ್ಲಿ ಶ್ರೀ ಗುರು ಶಿಷ್ಯನಿಗೆ ಬಡಿದು ಅಂದ್ರೆ ಹೊಡೆದು ಅಂತ ಬುದ್ಧಿ ಕಲಿಸಿದೆಡೆ ಶಿಷ್ಯ ಹೇಳ್ತಿದ್ದಂತೆ ಆಗಲೇ ಮಹಾಪ್ರಸಾದವೆಂದೆ, ನನ್ನ ಒಡೆಯ ನನ್ನ ಕಲಿಸುವಷ್ಟೇ ಸಾಕು. ತ್ರೇತಾಯುಗದಲ್ಲಿ ಶ್ರೀ ಗುರು ಶಿಷ್ಯನಿಗೆ ಬೈದು ಬುದ್ಧಿಯೇ ಕಲಿಸಿದೆ, ಒಡೆದು ಬಿಟ್ಬಿಟ್ಟು ಒಡೆದ್ರೆ ಏನೋ ಪ್ರಾಬ್ಲಮ್. ಬೈದು ಬುದ್ಧಿಯೇ ಕಲಿಸಿದೆಡೆ ಶಿಷ್ಯ ಹೇಳ್ತಿದ್ದಂತ ಆವಾಗ ತ್ರೇತಾಯುಗದಲ್ಲಿ ಆಗಲಿ ಮಹಾಪ್ರಸಾದವೆಂದೇನಯ್ಯ. ಕಲಿಯುಗದಲ್ಲಿ ಶ್ರೀ ಗುರು ಶಿಷ್ಯನಿಗೆ ವಂದಿಸಿ ಬುದ್ಧಿಯೇ ಕಲಿಸಿದೆಡೆ ಆಗಲಿ ಮಹಾಪ್ರಸಾದವೆಂದನಯ್ಯ. You can see the relationship between the students and the teacher, the change in time. ಗಲಾಟೆ ಮಾಡ್ಬೇಡ್ರಪ್ಪ, ಮುಂತ್ಕೊಂಡ್ರಪ್ಪ, ಕ್ಲಾಸಿಗೆ ಪೋಷನ್ ಮಾಡ್ಬೇಕು. ನಾನು ಎಷ್ಟು ಸರಿ ಮಾಡ್ಕೊಳ್ಳೋದು ನಮ್ಮಲ್ಲ. ಬಟ್ ಎ ಚೇಂಜಿಂಗ್ ರಿಲೇಶನ್ಶಿಪ್. ನನಗೇನೋ ಜ್ಞಾಪಕ ಬರ್ತದೆ, ಕ್ಷಮಿಸಿ. ಗುರುವೇ ನಮಃ ಅಂತ ಹೇಳ್ತೀವಲ್ಲ, ಬಟ್ ಒಂದಲ್ಲ ಒಂದು ಕಾಲದಲ್ಲಿ ಈಗಲೇ ಬಂದಿರ್ಬೋದು ಗುರುವೇ ನಮಃ. ಐ ಡೋಂಟ್ ಥಿಂಕ್ ಐ ಬಿ ಸರ್ಪ್ರೈಸ್ಡ್. ಗುರುವೇ ನಮಃ ನೋಡಿ ಎಷ್ಟು ಬದಲಾವಣೆಗಳಾಗಿದೆ ವಿತ್ ರೆಸ್ಪೆಕ್ಟ್ ಟು ದಿ ರಿಲೇಶನ್ಶಿಪ್ ಬಿಟ್ವೀನ್ ದಿ ಸ್ಟೂಡೆಂಟ್ಸ್ ಅಂಡ್ ದಿ ಟೀಚರ್. My last point. I am sure all of us would like to be good teachers, right? All of us. In the heart of heart, we want to be good teachers. But to be good teachers, we must understand the spirit of 21st century. ಮೊದಲು ಬಡದು ಬುದ್ಧಿ ಕಲಿಸವಾಯಿತು. But what is the spirit of 21st century? 21st century is knowledge explosive and technology driven. ನಾನು ಇಂಟ್ರೊಡಕ್ಷನ್ ಟು ಎಕನಾಮಿಕ್ಸ್ ಅಂತ ಒಂದು ಪುಸ್ತಕನ 40 ವರ್ಷ ಟೀಚ್ ಮಾಡ್ತಿದ್ರೆ without knowing the knowledge explosion, which I am doing. ಅಥವಾ ಚಾಕು ಚಾಕು ಇಲ್ಲ, ಬರೀ ಟಾಕೇನೆ. How long can I use that? Technology of teaching has changed. Methods of changing have changed. And if I fail to, I will not be able to survive as a teacher, even though I will be getting my salary. Getting my salary, getting my retirement benefit, that is one part of the story. But am I really a teacher now? Or am I a non-entity? I am sure you understand that word. ನಾನು ಏನೂ ಅಲ್ಲ, ಬರ್ತೀನಿ, ಎಲ್ಲಿಗೋ ಹೋಗ್ತೀನಿ ಅಂದ್ರೆ ಎಲ್ಲಿಗೆ ಹೋದ್ರೆ ಕ್ಲಾಸ್ ರೂಮ್ಗೆ ಹೋಗ್ತೀನಿ, ಮನೆಗೆ ಹೋಗ್ತೀನಿ. I am nobody. Nobody recognizes me. Spirit of the age. Aditya, I had a chance to read a particular article titled Under the Microscope, The Spirit of 21st Century. I quote a sentence from that book. We live in a world of high velocity change. ನಾವು ಈ ಪ್ರಪಂಚದಲ್ಲಿ ಈ ಪ್ಲಾನೆಟ್ ಅಲ್ಲಿ ಸಾಕಷ್ಟು ವರ್ಷಗಳು ಬದುಕಿದ್ದೀನಿ. ಏಜ್ ಎಷ್ಟು ಅಂತ ದಯವಿಟ್ಟು ಕೇಳಬೇಡಿ. Am I clear? I have seen changes. But during the last 20 years, the changes are much more than what I could see earlier. So we live in a world of high velocity change. Change will ruthlessly destroy institutions and people who cannot or will not adopt. If you do not change, as per the spirit of the age, you will not survive. You will be ruthlessly destroyed. It's a world where today's winner will be tomorrow's nobody. Hence, jettison our world habits and mindsets. That's what the spirit of 21st century will tell all of us. Related to that, we are expected to do today's job with today's tools. If you continue to do today's job with yesterday's tools, tomorrow you will be out of job. Out of job, I don't mean you will have a job. As I told you, you will be non-entities, nobody in the academia. There is what I would like to call academic Darwinism. Adopt, you know the theory of Darwinism, that survival of the fittest. The interpretation of fittest is always different. You adopt or die. Die, I don't mean physical death, please. Academic death. Academic death. Sometimes I also feel it. Have I died academically because I have not been able to read something new last week. You know that great educationist, Alvin Toffler. All of us, we teachers, we should read his book, Future Shock. I tell you only one sentence from that book. The illiterates of 21st century are not those who cannot read and write. Now, Samaniyavagi, those who cannot write and read, we call them illiterates, right? He says, no, you may know how to write, you may know how to read, but you are illiterate at 21st century. But those who cannot learn new things and relearn, I'm sorry, he calls them as illiterates. Let's not forget the spirit of the age. You know Dr. Abdul Kalam, he has planted a dream in our minds, but in the minds of the children. India, look, by 2020 India will be becoming a developed nation. It will never be. It's a pipe dream. Why do I say that? The first thing which any country needs to become a developed nation is to have high caliber teachers. The high caliber teachers alone will train the scientists, the managers, the engineers. Unless the country has high caliber teachers, India will never become a developed nation. I am sorry, it is not to disagree with Dr. Abdul Kalam, it is to tell what the truth is. I want to dream, but the dream must be realistic. Then, where do we stand now with respect to quality of education, higher education in this country? One survey was conducted, including 200 institutions of excellence in the world. Not even a single institution from India was there in the list. Not even Indian Institute of Science, let me tell you, we can understand where we are. Then after that, 500 centers of excellence have been surveyed. Only one institution from India could be included there. That is our Indian Institute of Science. Only one. That be here is a country where you have more substandard institutions and see islands of excellence here and there. Otherwise, I am sorry, we are running substandard institutions. You may feel uncomfortable. You may not like me for that. Dislike me, that's okay with me. If somebody asks me, who are your modern teachers? Well, apart from the living ones, I was searching for the modern teachers in our epics. Mahabharata. ಇಬ್ಬರು ಮೇಷ್ಟ್ರು ನನ್ನ ಕಂಡು ಬರ್ತಾರೆ. ಯಾರು ಹೇಳಿ? ದ್ರೋಣಾಚಾರ್ಯರು, ಇನ್ನೊಬ್ಬರು ಪರಶುರಾಮ. ಅವರು ಗಣಿತ ಹೇಳ್ಕೊಡ್ಲಿಲ್ಲ, ಪರಶುರಾಮ ಗೊತ್ತಲ್ಲ, ವಿದ್ಯೆ. Are you willing to accept both of them as good teachers? If you want to accept them as good teachers, the first thing which you got to remember is Ekalavya and Karna should pass through your eyes. ಏಕಲವ್ಯನಿಗೆ ಏನ್ ಮಾಡಿದ್ರು ದ್ರೋಣಾಚಾರ್ಯರು? ಏನ್ ಬೆರಳು ಕಟ್ಟಿಕೊಡುವುದು. ಕಾರಣ ಅರ್ಜುನ ಅನ್ನಪೂರ್ಣ ಇವ್ರ ಮೇಲಿತ್ತಲ್ಲ, ಅದಕ್ಕೆ ಏಕಲವ್ಯ ಬೆಳಿಬಾರ್ದು, ಅರ್ಜುನ್ನಿಂದ ಮೇಲೆ ಹೋಗಬಾರ್ದು. How do you respect Dronacharya? How do I? Why should I? Parashurama, Karna ಕ್ಷತ್ರಿಯ, ಅದಕ್ಕೆ ಅವನು ಕಲ್ತಕ್ಕೆಲ್ಲ ಶಾಪ ಕೊಟ್ಟ ಮರೆತು ಹೋಗ್ಲಿ ಅಪ್ರೋಪ್ರಿಯೇಟ್ ಟೈಮಲ್ಲಿ ಅಂತ. How do you expect me to respect Parashurama? So let us search for our role models. Can you try to be one of those role models? I thank you. I have taken some of your time.